3 worst and 4 best used luxury SUVs to buy in 2026. One of these SUVs will cost you $155,000 in repairs and depreciation over 5 years. Another one. Owners are still driving it past 200,000 miles, no excuses, and the dealership will never tell you which is which. Real owner data, real repair costs, real depreciation numbers. This isn't a brochure. 3 traps, 4 legends. Worst first. Worst number 3, Maserati Levante, 2017 to 2019. We're starting here because this one has the most seductive trap on the entire list. The Maserati Levante. Used prices starting around $28,000 to $35,000. Italian design, exotic badge, Ferrari-derived engine. At that price, it feels like you found the cheat code. You didn't. The Skyhook adaptive suspension starts failing between 60,000 and 80,000 miles. One corner is $3,000 to $4,000, and it's rarely just one corner. But that's not even the worst part. The electrical system develops a rotating cast of gremlins that no diagnostic tool can fully explain. Dealers charge you to look for problems they can't consistently find. The transmission has had recall issues. Parts share FCA components, which sounds reassuring until you discover that dealer support is thin and independent shops often won't touch it. 5-year ownership cost, $137,935. Depreciation, 65% in roughly 3 years. You paid $30,000 for the car. You'll spend more than 4 times that keeping it alive. Here's the psychology of this trap, and this matters. The Levante attracts a specific type of buyer. Someone who wants the exotic experience without the exotic price. Someone who sees $30,000 and thinks they're being smart. But the people who sold that car, they already learned this lesson. You're not getting a deal. You're inheriting their education. The 2017 and 2018 models are the worst offenders. If you want the Italian SUV experience without the Italian ownership pain, buy a Porsche Macan S instead. Same exotic feel, half the drama. We'll get there. Levante owners, drop your year and your total repair spend below. Let's show people the real number. Bottom line, the Levante is a beautiful machine that will punish you financially for owning it past warranty. Lease it if you must, never buy it used. Worst number 2, Mercedes-Benz GLE 2020 to 2024. This one is going to upset people. The Mercedes-Benz GLE, the safe choice, the sensible choice, the one your neighbor drives and your dealer recommends when you say you want something reliable and premium. Consumer Reports just issued a reliability warning on it for 2025. Let me tell you what's actually happening. The MBUX infotainment system is crashing, mid-drive, system reboots, climate control failures, electrical gremlins the dealer cannot consistently reproduce, which means you're paying diagnostic fees for a problem that disappears when the technician plugs in, and then comes back the moment you leave the lot. The transmission shudders on early acceleration. And here's where it gets expensive. The 48-volt mild hybrid system on the GLE 450 adds a layer of complexity that independent shops are not equipped to handle affordably. You're locked into dealer pricing on a car that's already past warranty. 5-year depreciation around 53%. Post-warranty repair exposure running $3,000 to $5,000 per year. Not catastrophic, just consistent. Death by 1,000 cuts on a car you bought because you thought you were being sensible. The 2020 to 2022 model years are the most problematic. New platform, new tech, bugs not yet ironed out, complexity already baked in. Here's what makes the GLE more dangerous than the Levante on this list. The Levante looks exotic. You know going in there's risk. The GLE looks responsible. That's exactly why it catches more people off guard. If you want GLE comfort and GLE presence, buy a BMW X540i or a Lexus RX instead. Same road presence, better long-term reliability, and you keep the money you would otherwise spend at the dealer. GLE or X5, which would you trust past 100,000 miles? Drop your answer below. Bottom line, the GLE is a lease car wearing a buyer's price tag. The badge says Mercedes. The repair history says something else entirely. Worst number 1, Land Rover Range Rover L405/L46, O-Rank Range Rover, Sport L494. I know, you love it. I understand why. It is genuinely one of the most beautiful, most commanding vehicles ever built. And it is, objectively, one of the worst used vehicles you can buy in 2026. 5-year ownership cost, $155,447. Real transaction data, not a worst-case scenario. The number. The air suspension fails on approximately 68% of vehicles by around 80,000 miles. Each corner costs $1,500 to $2,500. All 4 corners. Do the math. And that's before we get to the electrical system. The electrical architecture produces a rotating cast of warning lights, modules that miscommunicate with each other, and software faults that require dealer-level equipment just to diagnose. Independent mechanics often decline the work entirely, not because they can't do it, but because the diagnostic rabbit hole isn't worth the liability. The L405 3.0 supercharged V6 has timing, chain concerns. The 5.0 supercharged V8 is intoxicating and expensive at scale. The newer L460 adds a technology layer that makes the L405 look simple by comparison. But here's what makes the Range Rover uniquely dangerous on this list, and this is the part most buyer's guides won't tell you. The Range Rover has a cult following that keeps used prices artificially high. You are paying near premium money for a vehicle with bottom-tier reliability rankings, high acquisition cost, high running cost, high depreciation. The badge makes it feel like a smart decision right up until the moment it isn't. Even well-maintained examples with full-service histories end up in the shop. This isn't about neglect. Land Rover built a vehicle that prioritizes experience over durability. When you're the original owner on a 3-year lease, that's fine. When you're the second or third owner out of warranty, that's your problem now. If you want Range Rover presence without Range Rover ownership pain, buy a BMW X5 or a Porsche Macan. Commanding road presence, genuine performance, and you keep the $155,000 the Range Rover would quietly take from you over 5 years. Range Rover owners, post your year, your mileage, and your total repair spend. Best receipt gets pinned. Let's see the real number. Bottom line, the Range Rover is the most expensive mistake you can make in the used luxury SUV market in 2026. It is stunning. It is unreliable. And at $155,000 in 5-year costs, it will outlast your patience long before it outlasts its warranty. All right, enough pain. Let's talk about the 4 that owners actually keep. The ones with engine codes worth memorizing. The ones where 150,000 miles is just getting started. One rule runs through every pick on this half of the list. Know the engine code. Know the suspension type. Everything else is negotiable. Best 4. Ascending order. Best number 4, Audi Q5/SQ5, 2018 to 2023. Best number 4, the Audi Q5 and SQ5, 2018 to 2023, starting around $28,000 to $38,000 used. And before you say it, yes, Audi has a complicated reputation. The Q7 is too complex. The Q8 is too expensive to maintain. The pre-2018 Q5 had timing chain and carbon coking issues that are well documented. So why is this one on the list? Because Audi got the engine right. The 2.0 TEA 888 Gen 3 paired with the ZF8 automatic transmission. The EA 888 Gen 3 is one of the most refined 4-cylinder engines Audi has ever built. Smooth, responsive, and when maintained correctly, genuinely durable. The ZF8 is the same transmission family running in the Macan and the X5. Proven, predictable, excellent. The SQ5 steps up to a 3.0 TV6, same ZF8, near performance dynamics without the RS price tag. If you want the driving experience without the financial punishment, the SQ5 is the thinking person's performance SUV. Here's what to watch, and these costs are predictable, which means you can plan for them. The water pump goes at around 80,000 to 100,000 miles. Budget $800 to $1,200. The thermostat housing follows, another $500 to $800. Not surprises. Scheduled maintenance items that happen to cost money. Know they're coming. Budget for them, move on. The ZF8 transmission fluid is listed as lifetime by Audi. It is not lifetime. Change it at 60,000 to 80,000 miles. This is the single most important maintenance decision on this vehicle. The people who skip this are the people who end up in the comments of other videos complaining about their Q5. Avoid air suspension if you can spec around it. Steel springs on the Q5 are the right call. Same rule that runs through this entire list. Best years. 2018 to 2021 for the cleanest ownership experience. Avoid anything pre-2018. The platform wasn't ready yet. Q5 owners, what mileage are you at and what's been your biggest single expense? Drop it below. The Q5 is the Goldilocks Audi. Right engine, right transmission, predictable maintenance costs. This is how you enter the used luxury SUV market without getting burned. Best number 3, Lexus RX350/RX450H 2016 to 2020. Gold standard 2018. Best number 3, the Lexus RX. And I want to give this car the right introduction, because on a list like this, the RX is the easiest pick to dismiss. It's not exciting. It doesn't have a redemption story like the BMW. It doesn't have the driving character of the Macan. Nobody posts a photo of their RX with the caption Beast Mode. That's exactly why it wins. The Lexus RX is the SUV people buy after they've been to the repair shop one too many times, after the GLE's third electrical fault, after the Range Rover's second air suspension corner, after the Levante's first $4,000 bill. They walk into a Lexus dealership, sometimes reluctantly, and they never go back. That's not a coincidence. That's a reliability record built over 2 decades. The 2018 RX 350 is the gold standard. AL20 platform, 295 horsepower, 8-speed automatic, Lexus safety system 2.0 standard, mature platform, proven technology, exceptional reliability record. This is the year Lexus got everything right simultaneously. The RX 450H hybrid adds another dimension. The hybrid system reduces brake wear, reduces thermal stress on the engine, and owners report the battery holding strong well past 150,000 miles in most documented cases. If you're doing city driving, the 450H is the smarter long-term buy. Fewer moving parts under stress, lower running costs, same legendary refinement. Here's the financial argument in one number. The RX holds approximately $5,000 more in residual value at 5 years compared to its German rivals. That's not a rounding error. That's real money, and it comes on top of lower annual repair costs. What to watch? Check the water pump at higher miles. Test the Mark Levinson amplifier if equipped. Amp failures are a known issue and replacement isn't cheap. Listen for the VVTi cold start rattle on early morning starts. Run all open recalls by VIN before purchase. Years to avoid: 2010, first year of the AL10 platform. Too many early adoption issues. Best years: 2011, 2013, 2015, and 2018. The 2018 is the gold standard. If you want the safest entry point into used luxury SUV ownership, this is it. If you want more driving excitement than the RX offers, step up to the Macan S. If you want the RX's reliability with more technology and more performance, the X5 B58 is your answer. But if long-term ownership confidence is the priority, nothing on this list touches it. RX versus Q5 200,000-mile ownership run. Which one do you trust? Drop your answer below. Bottom line, the RX doesn't need to be exciting. It needs to be there. Every morning, every mile, every year. And it is. That's the whole point. Best number 2, Porsche Macan S/GTS, 2017 to 2022. Best number 2, the Porsche Macan S and GTS, 2017 to 2022. Starting around $38,000 to $52,000 used. Most people hear Porsche and think expensive to maintain, complicated, fragile. And for some Porsches, that's absolutely true. The Cayenne Turbo will test your patience. The Panamera will test your bank account. But the Macan S? The Macan S is a different story entirely. The Macan S runs a 3.0T twin-turbo V6, 0 to 60 in approximately 4.4 seconds. The GTS pushes that to 3.7 seconds. These are not SUV numbers. These are sports car numbers in an SUV body. And the engine isn't even the most impressive part. The most impressive part is the PDK dual-clutch transmission. Porsche's PDK is one of the most durable performance transmissions ever built. Owners are documenting 100,000 miles and beyond on the clutch packs with disciplined maintenance on a performance dual-clutch system. That is genuinely exceptional, and it's the reason the Macan belongs on this list. Here's the one decision that determines everything on this car. Suspension choice. Avoid air suspension. Full stop. The Macan on steel coil springs is the right configuration. Air suspension on the Macan follows the same failure pattern as every other German air suspension system. It's a question of when, not if. And when it goes expensively. Steel springs on this platform ride beautifully. Don't let a dealer or a previous owner's spec sheet talk you into the wrong configuration. What to watch? Performance consumables cost more on a Porsche. Tires, brakes, and service intervals are priced at the Porsche premium. Budget accordingly. The rear seat and cargo space are tight. This is a driver's car that happens to have rear seats, not a family hauler that happens to be fast. Know what you're buying before you buy it. And here's the ownership truth. The Macan S is one of the most reliable Porsches ever built when you spec it correctly. Steel springs, PDK, regular fluid changes. That combination produces an ownership experience that completely defies the German luxury stereotype. If you want the Macan's driving character with more practicality and more space, the X5 B58 is the next logical step. But if driving engagement is the priority and you're willing to live with a tighter cabin, nothing on this list is more fun to own. Macan owners, post your mileage and your PDK service history. Let's show people what disciplined Porsche ownership actually looks like. Bottom line, the Macan S drives like a Porsche, maintains like a Porsche, and when you spec it right, it lasts like one too. This is the most fun you can have on this list. Best number 1, BMW X5 xDrive 40i 2019 to 2022 G05 B58 engine. Best number 1, the BMW X5 xDrive 40i G05 generation 2019 to 2022. For years, BMW belonged on the other side of this list. The N63 V8 was a thermal disaster, valve stem seals failing, turbos buried in the hot V where no mechanic wanted to go, repair bills that made Range Rover owners feel better about their choices. BMW had a reliability problem that was real, documented, and expensive. And then quietly, without much fanfare, the B58 happened. The B58 Inline-6 is a modern engineering landmark, not because of horsepower numbers, because of what owners are actually reporting in the real world. 150,000 to 200,000 miles with disciplined maintenance and no catastrophic failures. A documented case at 230,000 miles, no major breakdowns, on a BMW in 2026. That is not something we could have said 5 years ago. Performance, 335 horsepower, 0 to 60 in approximately 5.3 seconds, paired with the ZF8 automatic, the same transmission family running in the Q5 and the Macan. Electronically limited to 155 miles per hour. Genuinely fast, genuinely comfortable, genuinely capable, and for the first time in a long time, genuinely reliable. Here's what to watch, and the details matter on this car. Avoid the N63 V8 trims, the xDrive 50i and M50i. The N63 thermal issues are well documented and expensive. The 40i with the B58 is the pick. Full stop. Early 2019 transfer cases had documented issues. Target mid to late 2020 and beyond for the cleanest ownership experience. The water pump and thermostat go at around 100,000 miles. Budget $1,200 to $1,500. Predictable, schedulable, manageable. Same story as the Q5, you can plan for it. Change the ZF8 fluid at 60,000 to 80,000 miles. BMW calls it lifetime. It is not lifetime. You've heard this on every car that runs this transmission family on this list, because it's true on every single one. Do it. Coil springs over air suspension. Same rule as the Macan. Same rule as the Q5. It runs through this entire list for a reason, and the reason is always the same. Air suspension fails. Steel springs don't. And here's the narrative that makes this the number 1 pick on this entire list. The X5 B58 gives you BMW ride quality, BMW technology, BMW presence, and for the first time in a generation, BMW reliability. The used market hasn't fully priced that story in yet, which means right now in 2026, this is still one of the best value propositions in the used luxury SUV segment. The people who know the engine code are buying. The people who don't are still avoiding BMW on reputation alone. Know the engine code. That's the whole game. X5 B58 versus Lexus RX. Which one do you keep to 150,000 miles? Drop your answer. And if you're a Range Rover owner who switched to an X5, I especially want to hear from you. That comment thread is going to be something. Bottom line, the The BMW X5 xDrive 40i with the B58 engine is the best used luxury SUV you can buy in 2026. It's not the obvious pick, it's the right pick. And that's exactly the difference, a buyer's cheat sheet. All right, if you're actually shopping right now, screenshot this. Engines to buy: B58 inline 6, BMW X5 xDrive 40i, EA888 Generation 3, Audi Q5/S Q5/, Toyota/Lexus hybrid system, RX4 50H, Porsche 3.0, TV6 Plus PDK, Macan S/GTS. Configurations to avoid: BMW N63 V8, thermal issues, valve stem seals, hot V turbos, air suspension on any German SUV post-warranty, when, not if. Maserati Levante pre-2020, any powertrain, any mileage. Fluid intervals that will save you: ZF8 transmission fluid, 60,000 to 80,000 miles, not lifetime. BMW B58 water pump/thermostat, budget at 100,000 miles. Audi Q5 water pump, 80,000 to 100,000 miles. Pre-purchase non-negotiables. Independent PPI, brand specialist. Full module scan, all systems. All open recalls verified by VIN. Service records, no deal. Now here's what I want from you. Drop your year, your mileage, and your biggest single repair bill in the comments. Best receipt gets pinned. And tell me this, GLE or X5 past 100,000 miles, which one are you betting your money on? Range Rover owners who switched, what did you move to? That answer alone is worth more than any buyer's guide. If this just saved you from a $30,000 mistake, hit like and subscribe so you don't buy the wrong car. See you in the next one.